The tension in the courtroom was electric. This wasn't just another legal battle, it was a high-stakes showdown, a raw power struggle unfolding in real time. Every person present could feel it crackling in the air. But what happened next left the entire room in shock, a judge, a prosecutor, and one explosive moment that changed everything. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from. If you love gripping stories like this, hit subscribe, because tomorrow we've got another exclusive story just for you. Pam Bondi was no stranger to high-stakes cases. She'd built a reputation as a relentless prosecutor, unmoved by intimidation or political pressure. Yet as she entered the courtroom that day, she sensed something different. The case before her was monumental, a government ethics scandal involving a powerful real estate developer accused of funneling state funds into his private ventures. The evidence was damning, but what Bondi didn't expect was the hostility radiating from the bench. Judge Howard Gates had a reputation, razor-tongued, unpredictable, and unafraid to flex his authority in ways that left attorneys trembling. As Bondi approached the plaintiff's table, he barely glanced at her, instead flipping through the case file with agonizing slowness, dragging out the silence, making sure everyone felt his control. Finally he spoke, his voice dripping with disdain. "Miss Bondi, I assume you've brought something of substance today, or should we skip to the part where you waste my time?" A few chuckles rippled through the room, mostly from the defense team, but Bondi didn't flinch. She'd faced worse. "Your Honor, the evidence will speak for itself," she replied, her tone steady. "This case involves the misuse of taxpayer funds. My job is to present the facts." Judge Gates leaned back, feigning boredom. "Taxpayer funds. Right," he muttered, as if felony corruption charges were beneath him. Bondi's jaw tightened, but her voice never wavered. "Respectfully, Your Honor, I wouldn't call felony corruption frivolous." For a split second their eyes locked, his icy and dismissive, hers unshakable. Before she could continue, he cut her off. "Mrs. Bondi, spare me the lectures. Get to the point, I don't have all day for your grandstanding." A murmur spread through the room. This wasn't just judicial impatience, it was personal. Pam took a slow breath. She knew his game. He wanted her rattled, defensive. She refused to play. Calmly, she reached for a folder. "Your Honor, these financial records prove—" Gates interrupted again, sarcasm sharp as a knife. "Do you always drown people in paperwork, or is this just your style?" Smirks flickered across the room. But Bondi didn't blink. Men like Gates fed on weakness. She'd starve him instead. She let the silence stretch, then replied, "Your Honor, if you'd prefer to make this personal, I'm happy to request a recess to address your professional concerns." A dagger in velvet words. Gates's lips curled, amused or annoyed, no one could tell. "I don't have concerns, Miss Bondi. I just recognize a weak case." This time, the room froze. The tension wasn't just between them now, it had swallowed the whole courtroom. Bondi remained still. "Your Honor, these documents show the defendant received triple the approved funding, none of it logged in state records." She gestured to the projector. "If you'll—" "Look here. I hate to interrupt," Gates mocked, "but we've seen enough numbers." He wasn't even hiding his disdain. Bondi held her ground. "With all due respect, these numbers are the case." Gates scoffed. "And yet I fail to see why we're wasting time with this." There it was. His attempt to bury the case before it began. Bondi tightened her grip on her pen but kept her voice ice calm. "Your Honor, I'd like to submit a motion to—" "Denied," Gates snapped. "Your Honor," Bondi pressed, "are you refusing my motion before I've even stated it?" A beat of silence. Then, "I'm refusing to indulge this circus any longer." The courtroom stopped breathing. This wasn't just a ruling, it was a spectacle. Pam took a measured breath. "You realize this is a public hearing, correct? The media is here. Everyone just witnessed you dismiss critical evidence without reason." A muscle in Gates's jaw twitched. "That's enough, Miss Bondi." She didn't react. Instead, she clicked a button. The next slide appeared. The room erupted. A document filled the screen. a financial transaction signed by Judge Howard Gates himself. Bondi lifted the paper. Your Honor, care to explain why your signature is on an unauthorized payment to the defendant? Silence. Absolute. Gates shifted, his face unreadable. Approach the bench, he ordered, voice low. Bondi hesitated, then walked forward. The room was frozen. As she reached him, he leaned in, whispering words only she could hear. Some fights aren't worth having, Miss Bondi. A threat. Veiled, but clear. She tilted her head, her whisper just as sharp. I don't scare easily, Judge Gates. She stepped back, mind racing. This wasn't just intimidation. It was corruption in plain sight. Returning to her seat, she faced him again. Your Honor, I'd like to continue presenting my evidence. Gates hesitated, then, through gritted teeth, proceed, but keep it brief. Bondi didn't acknowledge the jab. She simply reached for the next file. What happened next would shatter the courtroom. Ending. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment where. Are you tuning in from and what moment gripped you the most? Subscribe for more stories of courage, justice, and the battles that define us. Because every fight worth having starts with someone who refuses to back down. See you next time.